looked at an Instagram account with hundreds of thousands of followers and wondered, what are they doing that I'm not? A few years ago, I'd ask the same thing every day. Now I run an Instagram account with over 200,000 followers.
Ooh. Not ideal holding the queen of diamonds. The queen also blocking straight draws. But it is decent pair value.
Don't see Ivinger getting away from it on the turn, Randy. The real decision going to come on the river, and note the SPR now. Less
Not
than one.
holding the queen
Should
of
a brick
diamonds.
roll off.
The queen also blocking straight draws.
Ivinger.
There's a lot of bricks, but it is decent pair value.
That's-
That's the card that...
That's not a brick, Randy.
Yeah, that's good.
Ivinger getting
That's
away from
perhaps
it on
going
the
to actually
turn, Randy.
save
The real decision
Ivinger some money.
Going to come
on the river.
It also
note the
saves him
SPR
too
now.
because it's hard
Less
for
than
Mateo
one.
to bet, as Ivinger can easily have the ace, so he doesn't lose more chips.
A lot of
bricks most of the time. It is decent pair
That's-
value. That's the card that...
That's not a brick, Randy.
Yeah, that's good.
Ivinger getting away
That's
from
perhaps
it on
going
the
to actually
turn,
check
Randy.
through. King is good.
Ivinger some money.
Ivinger back down to
Gonna come on the
2.6
river.
million
It
after
also
winning that
saves
flip
him
against
because
Ken
it's
Thompson
hard
a
for
few
Mateo
hands
to
ago.
bet.
But more importantly,
As Ivinger can
Mateo's
have the
crossing the
ace,
20
so
million
he
mark
doesn't
and now
lose
has
more chips.
almost
A lot of
two-thirds of
bricks
the
all
chips
the
in
time.
play.
It is decent pair value.
30
That's the card
3
that-
million
That's
chips
not a
in
brick,
play.
Randy.
Yeah, that's
Mateos
That's
perhaps going to actually
Save
check
through.
King is good.
Some
5
money.
million. Ivinger back down to
Gonna come on the
2.6
river.
million after
Two
winning
kings.
that flip against Ken
Did get
Thompson a
upgraded.
few hands ago. But more importantly, Mateos
Mateos
crossing the 20 million mark and now has almost two-thirds of the chips in play. 33 million chips in play.
Yeah, that's
Mateos
Perhaps going to actually
check
check through. King is good.
5 million. Ivinger back down to 2.6
Two
million after
kings.
winning that flip against Ken
Did get
Thompson a
upgraded.
few hands
Time
ago.
to
Pick up legit hands.
Mateos crossing the 20 million mark and now has almost
Hold that
two-thirds of
is.
the chips in play.
He's only got 10 blinds.
33 million chips in play. Mateos
Perhaps going to actually check
check
through. King is good.
5 million. Ivinger back down to 2.6 million after
Two
winning
kings.
that flip against Ken
Did get
Thompson a
upgraded.
few hands ago. Pick up legit hands.
Mateos crossing the
Offsuit
20 million
ace
mark
for
and now has
Santos.
Hold that is. Good,
He's
Santos.
only got 10 blinds. I don't think he would ever be re-jamming just because Ivinger opening off the cutoff should be relatively strong. It's a tough hole to make just given you're getting a good price.
Pick up legit hands.
Very hard to also ace for Santos.
Hold that is. Good, Santos.
10 blinds. I don't think he would ever be re-jamming just because Ivinger opening off the cutoff. So he is still gonna flop relatively strong. Wary of the dual trend 4 big blind stack price.
Does cover, but
Ace for Santos.
less than a big blind.
I don't think he would ever be
Disaster to play a monster pot against Ivinger, 1.5 million in the middle. Savannah not connecting in any way, shape or
Wary of
form.
the dual trend 4 big blind stack price.
Does cover, but
Ace for Santos.
less than a big blind. Kings without a spade. SPR off to play a 0.3. What does he want to do here, Randy? Set this up for 2.
Yeah, 2 straight games.
Savannah not connecting in any way, shape or
He doesn't
form.
want some. Oh, actually, just open rips it. A little bit surprised, but same result.
Kings without a spade. SPR off to play a 0.3. What does he want to do here, Randy? Set this up for 2.
Yeah, 2 straight games.
Not connecting in any way, shape or
He doesn't want some. Oh, actually, just open rips it. A little bit surprised, but same result.
Thoughts behind that jab, Randy?
There is value to just not force your opponent to commit some more chips and maybe get sucked out on, because just preserving your tournament life with a good amount of chips is worth so much, because you're so much more likely to get into one of those top 2 or top 3 spots. There is where clearly that's where all the money is. Just not force your opponent to commit some more chips and maybe get sucked out on. Queen Jack there. Just preserving your tournament life 4 blinds, a good amount of cutoff is worth so much, because you're so much more likely to get into one of those top 2 or top 3 stack. Ace King for Santosh Suvarna, where clearly that's where all the money is.
big blinds. It's Ken Tong, another potential cooler.
Fold a queen jack there. They both have around 9 blinds. 4 blinds. Just all in.
Snap fold. Nothing to write home about for Ken Tong.
Ace king.
Seeing on
Santosh Suvarna.
Triton Poker social media, Randy. Hats off to the man, Steve O'Dwyer. Another potential cooler. Take down at number 5 late last night.
Speaking of hats, he was wearing his champion's hat today.
It was sold. Nothing to write home about for Ken Tong. Seeing on Triton Poker social media, Randy. Hats off to the man, Steve O'Dwyer. Another potential cooler. Take down at number 5 late last night.
Speaking of hats, he was wearing his champion's hat today.
It was sold.
Zeifinger doing 2 sixes. Sitting comfy in third.
Seeing on Triton Poker social media, Randy.
There's some chance he just outright folds this.
Steve O'Dwyer.
Yeah. Whatever. Just hang around.
GTO Wizards. Centaur score.
Zeifinger doing 2 sixes. Increased.
Increasing, Randy.
Comfy in
I like
third.
it. Getting the reps in.
Kenton's got 9 it off. Just one player to get through. He's got 7 blinds. But then he's thinking, look, Joe Trent's going to be all in soon. Force in the big blind.
GTO Wizards.
Why risk it? Although it would have worked as Chris Brewer just held 10-7.
Increasing, Randy.
Comfy in
I like
third.
it.
This
Getting
part
the
of the
reps
game
in.
is very technical. Very tricky. One player to get through. It seems easy, but it's always these 7 blinds, close spots that can really make or break how this one plays out for you. The big blind. Why risk it? Although it would have worked as Chris Brewer just held 10-7.
Increasing, Randy. I like it.
This part of the game is very technical. Very tricky. One player to get through. It seems easy, but it's always these 7 blinds, close spots that can really make Jack 3 offsuit out how this one plays out for you. The big blind.
There was some light-hearted banter when we were 8-handed. The departure of Bonomo and Ponakovs. I think everyone very aware of the seriousness of the situation. Note the King Jack pitch, by the way, from Brewer, second in chips.
Maybe even an ace-4 pitch I could see
Some
incoming.
light-hearted banter.
Stay out of the way.
Makes sense. Third in chips. Departure of Bonomo and Ponakovs. Trent on 4 bigs and now about to be in the big blind, forced to put in half of his stack. The seriousness of the situation. Note the King Jack pitch, by the way, from Brewer, second in chips.
Maybe even an ace-4 pitch I could see
Some
incoming.
light-hearted banter.
Stay out of the way.
Makes sense. Third in chips. Departure of Bonomo and Ponakovs. Trent on 4 bigs and now about to be in the big blind. You take Mateo, so I take everyone else. Seriousness situation.
Yeah, that seems
pitch, by the way, from Brewer.
seems like the only way you could chop it up, right? Like, how else could you do it? Stay out of the way. Opportunity from Tails to raise once more. King 9 offsuit. 6-handed. He knows that Joe Trent is committed, but he also knows that King 9 fares well against 2 random cards. That's the only way you could chop it up, right? Like, how else could you do it? Opportunity from Tails. King 10 suited in the muck for Chris Brewer. 6-handed. What does Joe Trent get? A deuce into the muck. Half the stack just folded.
That's brutal. So as brutal as it gets, I mean, perhaps going to look back on that Jack 10 of spades open rather than jamming. It opened the door for Savannah to put the pressure on him. To raise fold, and since then, what, 2 orbits have passed, going through the blinds twice, and now he's down to just 2 bigs. I mean, perhaps going to look back on that Jack 10 of spades open rather than jamming. It opened the door for Savannah to put the pressure on him. to raise fold, and since then, what, 2 orbits have passed, going through the blinds twice, and now
Finger's got ace-10.
he's down to
Such a
2
good
bigs.
spot for
Yeah,
Ivan.
because you're thinking,
He's third in chips, Randy. Like,
he's just hoping, please don't have anything, Mateos.
Fearless.
And pocket fours. This hurts.
Finger's
got ace-10.
Such a good bigs.
Yeah, because you're thinking,
now I have to ask, from a chip EV point of view, right? This feels like a call.
correct.
But with the situation Mateos finds himself in, he's in such a great position to just control how this final table plays out. Does he really want to flip at best against Ivinger? The answer is no, as he pitches the fours.
Now, I have to ask,
And I'm not surprised to see that, Randy.
Yeah, I like where your head's
chip
at.
EV point of view, right? This feels
Why
like
create a
call.
situation where
But with the situation,
opponent can have the stack size
he's
kind of play
so
back.
5.5, 6 million, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just control like how
let them
this
win
final
one.
table plays out.
You just
Does he
win
really want to
the majority of the battles.
Exactly. I mean, doesn't need to force the all in there. Just been raising, picking up the blinds in the
Yeah,
big
I
blind
like where your
ante.
head's at. Why create a situation where
But with the situation,
opponent can have the stack size
he's
kind of play
so
back.
5.5, 6 million, right? Yeah. Just control how
let them
this
win
final
one.
table plays out.
You just
Does he
win
really want to
the majority of the battles.
Sure,
Exactly.
I mean, well spot on the rail there. Rooting on Ivinger, of course. Part of the Poker Code team as
Why create a situation where
Tom taking his time, Randy, and he's going to take the spot
risky?
with Joe Sattler just 2 bigs.
Man, and Brewer's got ace jack suited. What is going on?
Ken Tong potentially going to be going home in 6, with Joe Trent just sat there on less than 2 big blinds. Time, Randy, and he's going to take the spot
Risky.
with Joe Sattler just 2 bigs. Ken Tong trying to force it a little bit too much, Randy.
I think so, and Brewer going to make the call here to put Ken Tong at risk. Joe Trent gets to sit on the sidelines and maybe get a pay jump into the 7-figure
With
club.
Joe Trent
Wow.
just sat there
Couple ducks.
on less than 2
hitting them
big
up soon.
blinds.
263k ladder potential. And perhaps a bit of an ICM blunder for Ken Tong from Hong Kong.
Still has 39% though. To do the
Does
dirty.
indeed. 2 live cards. We did point him out
Couple ducks.
earlier on that this man is here to play for the win.
163k ladder potential.
Certainly put on a show.
Bit of an ICM
Fearless,
blunder.
Running into Chris
Still
Brewer.
has 39% though. To do the dirty.
Indeed.
6-4 board.
Point him out.
Into 9 now.
60%.
Earlier on that this man is
Straight
here
flush
to
though,
play
Randy.
for the win.
You know me.
163k ladder
Seeing his back doors.
Certainly put on a show.
He does pair his 9, and now a 9 would work for him. 5 outs once. Queen or a 9 needed. Ken Tong to stay alive in this main event. So the deuce of spades completing the run out. Brewer scooping a 3.8 million chip pot has done a fantastic job.
High society.
Joe Trent.
Nothing wrong with sitting back and collecting that money. You did it.
Ken Tong to stay alive in this main event.
Two heads up. That's what he just said.
Brewer scooping a
Imagine.
3.8 million chip
That's-
pot.
that's
Done a
the recipe.
fantastic job.
Mateos just gets to do this now, right? Joe Trent on
Nothing wrong with sitting back and collecting that money. You did it.
2 bigs. Mateos just gets the jam.
Two heads up. That's what he just said.
Brewer scooping a 3.8 million chip pot. Done a fantastic job.
Mateos just gets to do this now, right? Joe Trent on
Nothing wrong with sitting back and collecting that money. The left side of the table is looking empty.
2 bigs. Mateos just gets the jam.
Jacks plus in that spot.
That's what he just said.
Mateo just gets to do this now, right?
5, he's not calling 7.
Damn it, not tied with chip lead.
The left side of the table is looking empty.
Too big. Mateo just gets to jab.
I enjoy the Adrian Mateo show, ladies and gentlemen.
So he's going to rip it again.
There's your answer. Good luck calling. Everyone else.
5, he's not calling 7.
So, now it gets really interesting because Joe Tren is going to be forced all in from the big blind.
Enjoy the Adrian Mateo show, ladies and gentlemen.
So it feels like another hand
So he's going to rip it again.
for Mateos, perhaps.
That's your answer.
And then, depending on the result,
Calling.
depend on whether or not
5, he's not calling.
Mateos gets to just continue
So, now it gets really interesting.
leveraging this ICM
Because Joe
situation.
Tren is going to be forced
Finds
all
himself in.
in
Look at that shot.
from the big blinds.
Jacob and Co.
Glowing.
Triton,
like another hand.
collaborative piece alongside
For Mateos, perhaps.
the main event trophy.
And then, depending on the result, depend on whether or not Mateos gets to just continue.
Saying 265k blunder there, leveraging
Two
this
tens.
ICM situation. Perhaps there is now forced all in.
Big blinds. Jacob and Co.
Glowing.
Triton, collaborative piece alongside
For Mateos, perhaps.
the main event trophy.
And then, depending on the result, depend on whether or not Mateos gets to just continue.
Saying 265k blunder there.
Well,
suited.
And needs some luck.
Is Joe 1 over to the tens?
Feels like Ibinger needs to just stay away because you can't trust that Mateos is just going to check it down on the flop, turn in river.
Well, suited.
And needs some luck.
Is Joe 1 over to the tens? Ibinger.
No, he's going to actually put the chips in. Ibinger needs to just it's a big commitment because you can't trust that
Randy,
Mateos
it's
is just gonna
interesting
check it
because
down on the flop,
you
turn
mentioned
in
you
river.
can't trust Mateos to just check it down, and there is a side pot, and a significant one at that. Given that Joe started the hand with 225, there's a side pot of 550k. Thoughts on this flat out of the small?
I don't know. It's definitely not a spot you see too much of. It's a big commitment. I would have thought he would have folded.
It's interesting because you mentioned you can't trust Mateos to just check it down, and,
And
there
if
is a side
Mateos
pot, and a
bets the
significant
flop,
one at that.
which he probably
Given
will,
that Joe started the hand with
it makes me
225,
not like
there's a
the
side
call
pot
as
of
much free.
550k. Thoughts on this flat out of the small?
I don't know. It's definitely not a spot you see too much of.
Nothing
I would have thought he would
to
have
do other
folded.
than bet with the tens, and that gets rid of Ibinger.
And if Mateos bets the flop, which he probably will, it makes
The
me
legit holding
not call as much free.
of Adrian, and yeah,
That's pretty funny.
Adrian is rooting for a jack.
Oddly.
Do a weird way with the tens, and would allow Mateos to continue leading into the other stacks. Joe looking to convert this 7% to stay alive. Doesn't do it, Randy. And we've had a couple of quick bust outs in quick succession. $285,000 ladder for the rest of the players.
Leading into the other stacks.
We're down to 4. Let's go.
Looking Savannah on 9 bigs, Ibinger on 10. Brewer with a bit of breathing room.
And we've had a
Sat
couple
on
of
25 bigs, and obviously
bust outs in quick succession.
the man of the hour.
$185,000
The past 24 hours. Adrian Mateos
We're down to 4.
has held the chip
go.
lead
Savannah on 9
pretty much
bigs.
exclusively
Brewer
from
a bit of breathing room.
25 players left. He lost it for less than an orbit
Man of the hour
at one point.
the past 24 hours. Adrian Mateos
Down to 4.
Has held the chip lead
Savannah on 9
pretty much
bigs.
exclusively
Brewer
from
a bit of breathing room.
25 players left. He lost it for less than an orbit
Man of the hour
at one point.
the past 24 hours.
What do you think? 9-3 offsuit? Yeah, I'm gonna go all in. On the tails. What you gonna do?
Leopoldo is on in the chat saying, is Brewer about to do what Smith did in the 200k Triton Invitational, crushing his opponent heads up with just 30% of the chips? Well, we're not quite there
I
yet,
gotta get there first.
but I see where your head's at. Marion Mosbach did have the runaway chip lead, and it was looking